Good evening. So now I'm at part 4 of Matan Torah, as we just learned that the preparation of the world before Matan Torah was really very special, and we continue with this topic. So the night before Matan Torah had been a short night. There was excitement, there were preparation, and all anyone could think of and talked about was just about Matan Torah. So Shabbat morning, the day that the Torah was supposed to be given, Ben Israel woke up late. They were awakened by thunder and lightning. Moshe called them and he said to them, the Chatan is waiting. The Chatan here really, he meant Hashem. And he's waiting for the Kala, which is the Jewish nation, to come to the Chuppah. It means there is going to be a wedding here. It means there is an agreement here. There is a partnership here that is very strong and very special, and is going to happen. Moshe's voice was amplified, so all of Ben Israel could hear him. All of Bnei Israel, the children, the old, the babies, every single one of them. There were more than 6 million people who stood there, along with all future neshamot, and even the neshamot of the Gerim, all future souls of Bnei Israel, all the future generations. That means that we were there too. Actually, there is a site for Shidduchim, and it's called I Saw You at Sinai, because we were all there. Our neshamot were all there, and even the neshamot of the converts. So when Hashem came down on Har Sinai, there was a burst of fire with smoke and 22,000 groups of malachim who came with Hashem. Those malachim were divided into camps, and each group, each camp had a flag. It just looked stunning. The vision was something unbelievable. But Israel were looking up and looking at those malachim flying and with their flags. It just took their breath away. The earth shook. The thunder and lightning were heard and seen. The shofar became louder and louder until it reached the highest volume that people could hear. Hashem bent the heavens until they reached Har Sinai. So the heavens were bent just like a kippah, just so it could reach Har Sinai. When Hashem started to speak, Bnei Israel heard his voice loud and clear. They saw the sound waves as Hashem spoke. The sound waves were moving, traveling around the entire camp. They saw the letters of the words floating in the air, and no letter was seen backwards. And Bnei Israel did ask, right? They did ask to hear Hashem's voice, but it was so powerful that they actually all died. They all died from fright. They were so scared. It wasn't just them, it was the whole nature around them. The cedar trees were falling down. They were breaking down. The mountains shook. There was an earthquake. What was going on was so scary. In fact, the nations of the world asked Bilam, what is going on? Who is this Bilam? Hashem didn't want the other nations to complain and say, well, Ben Israel, they are good because they received the Torah, and that's why that's why you like them. So Hashem said, and they had Moshe. Moshe was their leader, and Moshe was able to really guide them and make of them who they were. So Hashem gave them a leader, Bil'am. Bilham's level of prophecy was as high as Moshe, except that, and really here we have a huge lesson to learn. We see how Moshe used whatever talents Hashem blessed him with. uh, He used it for good, and Bilam also, he too was blessed with talents, just like Moshe. Yet he was a huge, huge Rasha. At one point, maybe some other time we learn about it, how he wanted to curse Ben Israel. He tried everything, to do anything and everything to curse Ben Israel, right? So when all this was going on now in the world, how there was earthquake, nothing moved. It just, things didn't seem, something was up, something was going on in the world. So people asked Bilam, you're a Navi, you're a prophet. Tell us what's going on. And he said, oh, what's going on? Hashem is giving the Torah to his people. That is what's going on. So now, Ben Israel, now that Hashem is ready to speak, right? And Ben Israel heard the voice of Hashem. Hashem said all 10 dibrot, all 10 commandments at once, and then he repeated the first and the second one, and he was going to repeat each one again, over again. Except that for Ben Israel it was too much. They died. They simply died from fright. So what did Hashem do? To revive them, Hashem brought down dew, tal, shel techiyat hametim. Tal, dew that Hashem is going to use for reviving the dead when Mashiach comes. And that's how they revived. They came back to life, but they felt weak from the shock that they had just experienced. Hashem filled the air with besamim. They took it in. Yes, they revived. They felt better. They felt alive again. But as soon as they could, as soon as they felt better, they just ran away from Har Sinai. They ran away far. They ran away as far as 9 miles from Har Sinai. Malachim had to go and bring them back, carry them back to Har Sinai. So for a moment, I want to stop here about this, and I would like to explain a couple of things. Ben Israel came out of Har Sinai on the 15th of Nisan. And Hashem now gave the Torah on Vav Sivan, which is altogether a period of 7 weeks. So the obvious question is, why did Hashem wait 7 weeks? Why? Why did Hashem wait 7 weeks to give the Torah to Ben Israel? So the Chachamim explained this to us through a mashal. And the mashal goes like this. It's an example. Many times we explain things through examples or parables to make it easier for us to understand. So Chachamim say there is a parable that there is a king who has a son who he loves very, very much. And then the son got sick. He became very, 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 very sick. He was near death. That's how sick he was. And many doctors had to come and take care of this child, of this prince. And the king was very worried. Is he going to survive? Is he going to survive? And doctors said, yes, after a while, yes, he is going to survive. And he survived. And within a short time, he was able to get up, walk around. So he had a tutor, and there were other ministers who were saying, you know what, let the prince come and start learning and start, going on and see what's going on in the palace. And the king was very upset about this. He says, what? The prince was so sick, and you think that so fast he's going to come back and learn again and do everything? No. Prince needs a good time, a good time for recovering. He needs time. If he's going to go again right away, if he's going to start learning and doing all kinds of things right away, he's going to get sick again. He needs time. And this is exactly what Hashem did. He was going to give us the Torah, but Hashem said, I cannot give you the Torah right away. It has to be in its proper time. It has to be that you are ready. It has to be that you healed. Hashem was not speaking only about physically. Yes, physically, Ben Israel were exhausted from all the hard work. They needed time physically to rest and to be able to go on and do what was coming next. But Hashem said, spiritually, Ben Israel needed more time. And that's why it took 7 weeks for Ben Israel to receive the Torah. So, Chachamim explained to us also, the Torah had to be given in its proper time, not before, because then it would not be appreciated, or people would just reject it, and not too late, because for the same reason. Okay. Number 2, the place had to be right. Had to be in the desert. There are many reasons why in the desert. So one of them, in the desert. Why in the desert? We should think maybe it would be in a beautiful country, on a beautiful mountain, or near a site which is just amazing. Why did it have to be in the desert? There's nothing wrong. So Hashem says, because the desert doesn't belong to anyone. It's hefker. So the Torah also is hefker. What does this mean? It means that anyone, any Jew who wants to learn Torah can come and learn it. It's available for every single Jew. And like we said before, people had to be ready to accept the Torah. They had 3 days of preparation. But really, Hashem said they should have only 2 days of preparation. But Moshe felt that they needed a 3rd day. So Moshe told Ben Israel, prepare for 3 days. And then Hashem accepted that. Accepted what Moshe said and went along with Moshe. Number 4, they had to accept Moshe as Hashem's agent. A king has an agent. A king has emissaries. A king has ministers. Hashem wanted Moshe to be his agent. And Ben Israel had to be aware of it and accept him. Number 6, as the agent of Hashem, he had to make sure that he would teach them the rules and they would follow. Right? Like the rules that we said about not touching Har Sinai, not going up the mountain. Then Chachamim tell us there were a few advantages that Ben Israel gained on the day that Hashem gave them the Torah. The first one, Hashem offered the Torah to every single nation. Every nation is represented by a malach in Shamayim, in the heavens. Hashem called each angel that represents each nation and presented, said, do you want the Torah? He said, okay, what's in the Torah? Oh, what's in the Torah? Well, don't kill. Oh, no, we can't. We can Esav? No. That's how we live. We live by killing. The next angel, what's written in the Torah? Oh, what's written in the Torah? Don't steal. Ishmael? No, we can't. That's how we live, by stealing. Then the nation of Moab, don't commit adultery. Nutin af. No, we can't. That's how we live. So every nation had a reason why to reject the Torah. So Hashem presented the Torah to every nation, and no one accepted it except for Bnei Israel. Why did Hashem have to do this? Because Hashem didn't want the nations of the world to say, oh, you only presented the Torah to Bnei Israel. If you would have presented the Torah to us, we would have accepted it. Just like Hashem made sure that the nations of the world had Bilam as a prophet. So, and we have Moshe. So Hashem also made sure to propose the Torah to every single nation, but they all rejected it. And so why did Bnei Israel accepted the Torah? Because Bnei Israel have a high spiritual nature. That's who we are. We are very spiritual people. And we see how they prepared themselves. They prepared themselves so well that they had achieved the level of Adam before he sinned. They had achieved perfection. Number two, when the Torah was given, Bnei Israel became a nation. Before we were just a group of slaves. Once we received the Torah, we received our government, we received our laws. That's our government. We became a nation. The Torah turned us into a nation. And what kind of a nation? A nation dedicated only to Hashem. That's why in the second Dibra it says, Lo yeh lecha Elohim achirim. We cannot have any other God, because we became like a married woman who may not marry any other man, right? She's married to her husband, that's it. So, and Hashem promised he would never abandon us for another nation on earth. Never. So, in the zechut of this learning on Erev Shavuot, may Hashem help us keep the Chag as we should according to Halacha, and give us the zechut of celebrating in Eretz Yisrael Be'ezrat Hashem with Mashiach. May He bless us with all, and our children and families, with beracha, hatzlacha, breiut, parnasa, nahat, simcha, zivugim, chokhmat chaim. We should know how to live. Chokhmat chaim is very important to have in life. So, Chag Sameach. And we'll speak. I'll send you the next video on Sunday, Be'ezrat Hashem.